Hello everybody. So today we are going to learn for each loop and also the difference between for loop, the traditional for loop, and for each loop and how they work. For each loop is also called as enhanced loop. Okay, so it is actually an enhanced version of the traditional for loop. So we will see what are the advantages and some of the disadvantages that for each loop has over the traditional for loop. Uh, just for example, let's take an array and I'll take three integer values, 1, 2, 3, and suppose the task is to uh, print uh, the array. Okay, so first what we'll do is try to print this this array using the traditional for loop. So what we can do, for int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length, and I plus plus. Now simply print I. Okay, sorry, AI. So let's run it and see if it prints 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, right? For the same task, for each loop works. Uh, it has a different syntax for from this traditional for loop. So what how for each syntax is, for int a1 in a, let me type it out first, then I'll explain it. And let's run it. Yeah, so this 1, 2, 3 is from the traditional, from the first for loop, this one, and this is from this for each loop. So I'll write it here so that there's no confusion. For each, sorry for the spelling, for each loop, it's actually one word. It came in 1.5 version, Java 1.5, and it is also called enhanced for loop, also called enhanced for loop. You can see, right, that here we have written so many things. Int I less than length variable we have used, but here it's very simple. What is it's doing is uh, you have to take the variable in which all the elements are present. Okay, and then what kind of element? This kind of element, integer type, and then take a variable. And so for every int value in this a, for each integer value in a is here on line 7, right? For every integer value in a, it will print. So for that, reference variable is a1, so we have taken here a1. So I hope it is you guys understand this thing. Just to make it sure, I'll make a 2D array. Let's make a 2D array. 4, 5, and you will see how much the code, lines of code get reduced. Okay, so it is a 2D array. So now what we'll do, I'll first delete this. Now our task is also this. Our task is to print this array. Okay, using the traditional for loop and using the for each loop. What will be our approach? For the first one, int, or let's take I equals 0, I less than a dot length I plus plus. Okay, now what we are doing here is that firstly a dot length. What is a dot length? The value of a dot length will be 2. Why? Because this is a 2D array, and 2D array has two elements in it. First this one and then this one. Okay, so a dot length is 2, so it will start from 0 and then 1 and 2. Okay, so so the at 0th position this element is there, and on the first in the first position this element is there. So now in this element, how we're going to fetch the elements inside this? Okay, so for that we will use another for loop. Now this is called nesting of for loops. Int j is equal to 0, j less than a I dot length. Guys, if you don't understand what I'm this code, because I taught this in the last lesson for loop, and I hope that you understand what nested for loop is. If you don't, please let me know in the comments. I'll make a separate video on nested for loop. Okay, so now see, so a I j. Okay, now what we are doing, the expected result is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, see what we are doing here is for the first element, let me explain a little bit the nested for loop. This is, it will start from this element, right? So first we have taken this element. So in the nested for loop here, it will go inside this element, inside this element. So and then iteration will occur for these three inside this first element. It will iterate for 3 times. So for that, 0 and then a of ai means ai, what a at 0th position is this element. So yeah, it will print yeah, so let's see 1 4. No worries guys, we should learn how to deal with these. So ai dot ai index out of bounds exception. Okay, it's a very common exception when it comes to array for each in Java, line number 10, right? 10. So let's see what's the problem. Okay, the increment, we are incrementing I, we have to increment j here. Okay, so these small mistakes coders will keep making, and we have to resolve by looking at the errors. Okay, and that's how you get good at it. So now let's run. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now the same code, I'll sorry, for the same task, what for each loop will do. See, you can see how complex this code is. It's a little bit complex. If I take 3-dimensional array, you will really feel that it's really complex. And but for the sake of understanding it properly, I'm just taking 2-dimensional array, and you should try 3-dimensional array as homework. Okay, and if there's any problem, if you're not able to do it, let me know in the comment. So let's see for each for the same task. So for int a1 in a, for int a2 in a1. See, so a1. Let's run. Okay. It's a great day. We are getting errors or results that are not expected. So again, what I have done here, I have printed out a1, and I have to print out a2, right? So it's a2. Save it. Now let's run. See, this is for each loop, and this is for loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I hope this for each loop is clear to you all, guys. And if there is any doubt, let me know in the comment, and I'll make a video on the same. And guys, please subscribe, and because I took a 3-day gap. I was not keeping well, so I took a 4 days gap, and now I'm making videos again. So I was getting views, but suddenly I have stopped getting views. I'm not getting any views, so please try to watch the full video. And if you want to increase the speed of the video, you can speed it up, like watch it at 1.25 x speed. Uh, and you will save your time, and also the time that I take in making these errors and all, you will also avoid that as well. So a 10-minute video will probably end in 7 minutes. So I hope you understand today's class, today's tutorial. So and also, guys, I'm planning to make manual testing series. If you are interested, please let me know. If you are interested in manual testing, I will be teaching the whole thing. Look, I work in automation field, but I started as a manual tester, right? And everyone, every tester, every automation tester has worked as a manual tester at some point. Okay, initially when they take any job, they are given as a fresher. They are given a manual tester's job. So after that, even though you know automation, you will be assigned uh, work related to manual testing. You know, so uh, it starts from there. For freshers, it will be really, really helpful, and also for experienced people. I know many people who work in industry in manual test as a manual tester. For they are working for like 8 to 9 years only in the only as manual testers, and they are earning very well. They have knowledge of automation and all, but they are working as manual testers, and they're working very good, and they're earning very well. Okay, I digress. So let's stop here today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.